The wait is finally over. Tonight here at Dorn Park, Game 1 of the Cape Cod League Championship Series. It's the Bourne Braves against the Harwich Mariners. Hello and welcome into Pregame Tomahawk Talk. I'm Adam Gotkin alongside Cam Manna and Nathan Schwartz. And Cam, just like last year, a bit of a bumpy road to get to this point for Bourne, not just in the regular season, but in the playoff series that sent the Bravos to this game against Katuitt.
A lot of ups and downs, but that's what makes the season so sweet when you get to this point and you get to look back on what this squad has done. 4 wins in June, you win 18 in July, you've only lost 1 game here in the month of August. You were the hottest team on Cape Cod for a reason, and you get to play in this game here against Harwich in a 3-game set. It's similar to last year for that Bourne squad that won 3 straight into the playoffs, but the biggest difference is this Bourne squad, most of these guys have been here since June 15th. They have understood the ups, the downs, the 4-game losing streak, trying to get to a 3-game losing streak for the first time in the month of July, but finally they get here playing that best baseball, and now it comes down to how do you play these next 3 games.
And one of the guys who has not been here all summer is the guy who's getting the start today, Jonathan Stevens out of Alabama. We've only seen 1 time, but he looked really good at Orleans.
Yeah, it was game 1 of that doubleheader, 3 1/3 scoreless innings for Stevens in that game, and this is actually a comfortable spot for him because he pitched the final 2 innings in game 1 of the Cal Ripken League Championship Series just a couple of weeks ago, and now he gets the trust in his coaching staff to start game 1 of the Cape League Championship Series.
So he may be new to the Cape, but not new to these big moments. And Cam, for this big game, we've seen some lineup changes from the last game against Katuitt yesterday.
And we've seen a lot of lineup changes this whole entire playoff series. We have seen guys play 2 games, then off. We saw Gillespie and David Lewis step up in game number 2 here at home against the Cats. We haven't seen Garrett Michelle in 2 games. He's now back in the 4 spot. Your top 3 is the same, but Scott Linders has shown you throughout the playoffs so far, everybody that's on this roster and that can hit and has played this summer, he trusts no matter what, and he's going to show that right here once again. Your middle of the order is different. Chris Stanfield anchors at the bottom. Your top 3 is the same, and we'll see how it works out here tonight.
Well, coming up, we've got an interview with Ethan Conrad. You don't want to go anywhere. First pitch coming up soon at 7 p.m. You're watching Pregame Tomahawk Talk. Adam Gotkin here with Ethan Conrad ahead of Game 1 of the Cape League Championship Series. Ethan, what's this experience like for you to be playing here for a title on the Cape? We're still about an hour before the game, yet we still already have a bunch of people here. Just what's this like?
Yeah, it's super fun. It's a great environment. The town, they're showing out. It's going to be a fun game, and it's great being able to come down and compete for the championship.
And I know you're not one of the guys who's been here since opening day, but there's so many guys who have been here for a large majority of the season like you. How much do you think that's kind of helped your team get to this point of having so many guys who have been here since June and have just been here for a long time?
It's definitely helped. They've kind of been able to help the newcomers just get comfortable as soon as possible and be able to play well, and they've created just a great environment at the field every day, and it's just been helping us win.
You've been hitting pretty well so far in the playoffs. What has been working so well for you at the plate? It seems like you're attacking pitches early. What's kind of that mindset been?
Yeah, exactly what you said, just attacking early, trying to get my pitch early in the count and driving it.
Today you guys are facing a pitcher that you've already seen twice this season. How do you try and use that scout to your advantage and not let him take advantage of already knowing what you guys can do?
Yeah, you just try to remember back to what he was, what he was throwing, what his ball is like, how it moves, and it helps you get ready for the game.
All right, well, thank you very much, Ethan.
Thank you.
Adam Gotkin now joined by Sean Brennan here on Pregame Tomahawk Talk as we continue to get you ready for Bourne against Harwich in Game 1 of the Cape Cod League Championship Series. Sean, it was a bumpy road for Harwich to get here. I don't think anyone thought that this Mariners squad would make it to the Championship Series after they went on multiple long losing streaks in the regular season, but they've made it here.
Yeah, and something that's been said around this Bourne team for much of the season is that you have to get hot at the right time. And the Harwich Mariners have certainly done that. In July, they lost their first 17 of the first 19 games, and they really were just out of the race. Didn't think that they would even finish close to the postseason, but they figured it out. They won 6 of their last 8 games to sneak into a playoff spot, and ever since then, they just seem like they can't lose. They stormed into Chatham, Veterans Field, a tough atmosphere to win in, and they come away with a late game victory. And then going against YD, who won the regular season title, they sweep them in 2 games, hold them to 3 runs in 2 games. That offense, holding them to that little run's not an easy thing to do. So this is definitely a team Scott Linders has talked about for the whole season, that this Cape League, it doesn't matter where you finish, this is the best of the best, so you can't take any team lightly, and I'm sure the Braves won't be taking the Mariners lightly tonight.
And Sean, you said it there, Harwich limited that high-powered YD offense. It's the pitching that has really stepped up here in the playoffs for the Mariners.
Oh, it has, and their starting pitching has been exceptional, the second lowest ERA in the postseason. Now, when the relievers come in, they're not giving guys that many opportunities. Their whip is very good, so we'll see how that holds up today. Obviously, as we get farther into the playoffs, the availability of arms starts to get smaller and smaller. Luckily for Bourne, that really hasn't been a huge problem, but we'll see how the Mariners attack that.
Well, Harwich goes with Olin Johnson on the mound today at North Carolina. This is not the first time that we've seen him pitch against Bourne this season. Earlier, it was in the UNC versus UNC matchup, but today Johnson going against Jonathan Stevens out of Alabama, and he's going to hope to turn things around a little bit after struggling sometimes during the regular season.
Yeah, he had a 7.8 ERA in 15 innings, had 14 strikeouts to go along with that, and like you said, Johnson has seen this Bourne team before. On the 15th, he came to Doran Park, pitched 4 scoreless innings, only allowed 5 base runners. Then the next time that Bourne faced him 8 games later, it was a different story. He went 4 innings but was tagged for 4 runs. Really didn't settle in at all. It was kind of looked like batting practice. It ended up being a 10-2 win for Bourne. So 2 very different outcomes for Johnson. We'll see what he comes out with today.
Well, it should be very interesting. Game 1 of the Cape League Championship Series coming up at 7 p.m. You don't want to go anywhere.